Today is Sunday, March 1st, 2026. The time 12:15 p.m. And I titled this one, Corey Holcomb thinks we were miseducated to not want to be with children. And as the receipts on him, these PDF allegations keep coming out, they just more glaring. Like he can try to find every YouTuber that's making these videos on him. But guess what we using, homie? We using your words. This isn't no grandiose conspiracy theory against you, Corey. This isn't because number one, Corey, you're not even intelligent enough. This is directly to you. If you happen to come across this video, you're not directly intelligent enough to even be a threat to this system. You're a typecast. You're only just ignorant. You're ignorant within your boundary, in your bounds of whatever the hell you do. You can only you were funny like years ago. Only people that's disturbed in the head and desire to mess with underage or barely legal girls or children for that matter find you funny. Only bottom shelf people on an intelligence level still find you funny. You might have been funny once before. But Corey, you're not who you think you are. You only are this legend on 5150 surrounded by those losers that you're around. Right? So this whole thing of TMZ want to take you down, why? Why? You're not giving up top secret Hollywood's information. You're just a loser who weaponizes his money. Right? So that's to set the table for you, Corey, just in case you come across this video, to let you know you ain't even intelligent enough to be a threat. And, I got a shout out to this young brother who I got the video off his page. I got a shout out to this young brother. And this young brother, what's his page? Let me get his page because we give credit around here.
I understand why you feel the way you
feel. Hold on. He jumping the gun on his getting ready. The red carpet re-up. This young brother, the red carpet re-up. And this is going to be him in a lot of these narrations also. So I want to give him credit and, give him just due. I want to give all black males that's standing up and speaking against this. I want to salute all of us. They're standing up and saying, no, this is not how a healthy black man thinks. No, this ain't what it is. But anyway, without further ado, just listen to this.
I understand why you feel the way you feel because Master taught you the way he taught you.
Okay, and in my breakdown, he always got to do these stupid facial expressions. Taught you, right? Because in his breakdown, he thinks we've been miseducated in America to not want to be with children, right? Now, this is his words, not mine. Let me run that back.
I understand why you feel the way you feel because Master taught you the way he taught you. But if you ever leave out the United States of America, you will find out this fair game at all these ages that they're talking about right now. I've been on this earth 15, 16 years.
It's ready.
Hey, you are limited to think that you got to wait for a hoe to be 18.
No.
For it to be something that's right in your.
And who is that on the sideline saying, nah, that's his old bootlicking sidekick, nah. But they want to say, y'all putting these jackets on us. No, you took the jacket out the closet, huh? Y'all took the jacket out the closet and pressed it. Y'all took the jacket to the dry cleaners. You put on your Sunday's best jacket. We ain't doing this to you.
But do the research on these other countries and find out when grown can put grown nose.
Yo, let me ask you something real quick.
Now, let's break down this. Let's break down his verbiage. Because we already know Corey Holcomb don't like women, right? We already know Corey Holcomb don't like his daughter. We already know Corey Holcomb absolutely hates divine feminine energy, right? So he say, do your research, and you can find out what age you can stick grown dick in these 304s, right? Because Master taught you with that stupid look on his face, and we've been miseducated to not want to mess with somebody that's in their teens, right? This is not us having our common sense. We've been miseducated. Now, let me do a sidebar to this, right? You also go to several countries, homosexuality is prevalent, right? But because somebody else in another country is doing it, doesn't make it right. But in Corey's mind, it doesn't matter because he wants access to the youngest of the youngest. He wants access to the greenest of the greenest mentally so he can mentally manipulate them, right? And like I said, shout out to this brother, the red carpet re-up. This is who you hear in this breakdown.
You ever heard that phrase, once is happenstance, twice is coincidence, 3 times is enemy action? Yeah, that. Because when I first heard about these Corey Holcomb PDF receipts floating around, I was like, okay, let me see what this is about. Then the second batch dropped, and now we got a third wave? Nah, bro, nah. This ain't accidental anymore. This is a pattern. Look, I get it. Comedy is supposed to push boundaries, right? We all love a comedian who goes there. But there's a difference between edgy jokes and whatever the hell this is. The man literally asked a room full of people if anyone else had ever walked into their girlfriend's daughter's room and seen her undressed.
Nobody tells you that self
commercials. 1 second.
Easy now. I was waking up tired every day, snoring.
Daughter room who almost grown.
Oh, here we go.
Just thinking about it. It's amazing. In 3 weeks, we're going to see this whole episode on SBU. Keep cracking jokes.
Unless it was a party.
Let me show you.
Wow.
Is that a good thing to do? No. Because my son is coming to town this week. He's 16. Should I take him somewhere?
No.
These bathhouses out here?
Are you serious?
Is it washed by a big?
I don't think so.
16?
No, I don't think so. Unless
Just
he's
relax and let it happen, boy.
No, if he was 18, maybe.
What's that 16-year-old kid look when they get in there washed by a grown kid? Let us scrub you.
Wait,
That's squirt. You looking at you be like this? Right.
And see, everybody just saying, relax. Relax, Professor, it's just jokes. He got a dark sense of humor, and I told y'all about using the terminology dark when we're using something negative. A dark sense of humor. The dark web. Always put negative connotations on something that's dark, right? Right? But everybody keeps saying these are jokes. Y'all don't understand jokes. That's what they kept saying in the other video that I was breaking down on this sucker. Y'all don't understand jokes. So how long can you keep joking about children? Fellas, if you got a homeboy around you and all he do is make homoerotic jokes all the time, he just make homosexual jokes. He got to find some way to ask you some type of homosexual thing. Would you think he just joking all the time? I mean, this is his personality, right? But why do y'all stand all of a sudden when it's him, y'all say, oh, I can't see him doing that. You don't have to see him. He see him doing that. He's an effing creep, right? And I think, and I'm proud of my other brothers that we collectively putting the foot on his neck. There's no TMZ. Corey Holcomb keep a bunch of bootlickers around him, whether it's Craig or whether it's personalityless Darlene. I told y'all a long time ago that he not allowed to have nobody around him with a backbone. He don't want nobody around him with a backbone. But let's keep on with his jokes, right? And the brother that's narrating in this video with these receipts is a brother, the red carpet re-up.
You
He's
heard?
crying, he's sniffling?
Did it happen? Anybody want to talk about that?
Wait, what? What is that?
Any of the people that their kids saw you naked or something?
No. And when nobody raised their hand, he looked confused, like he genuinely didn't understand why nobody could relate to his funny story. What? And that's just a warm-up. The man told another story about a 9-year-old crawling into bed while he was undressed with her mother.
9 years old now. But somehow this us. We doing this. 9 years old, right? Listen to his receipts. The brother that's narrating, I used his. His name is Red Carpet Re-Up. Check that brother out.
And his reaction? She wasn't that young.
No, never.
It was an accident, but it happened.
Yeah, almost.
One of the kids walked in the room, and me and the mama was under the cover naked, and then one of the little girls got under the cover and was like, "Oh," I was like, "Yeah."
I mean, here too. How old was the little girl?
Probably about 9.
Oh, she wasn't that young.
She saw why her mama ain't charged me.
And then did you hear the person that say, see, we need to look at all of these guys that's around here. We like what y'all say, hold on, what y'all say when it's R. Kelly? We need to get everybody that was involved, right? When y'all championing for R. Kelly, you want to get everybody involved. We need to look at everybody that done had something wicked sideways to say in these jokes, right? Because he's just joking. These are jokes, right? But why is nobody laughing? If that's a joke, why am I not laughing? Am I missing the joke? Why is my timeline? I got a few people in here. Why is my screen not lighting up with jokes? If this is funny, this is jokes, right? Right? Why am I not laughing at this joke? So when it's R. Kelly, we want to say, oh, the parents, where the parents? Oh, the parents need to be locked up too. Everybody that was involved, because y'all like Kels, right? So y'all want to see everybody with him. Everybody that's making all these dudes on the sideline saying, oh, 9 years old, oh, that ain't that young. The hell you say? But let's continue with Corey's jokes.
I mean, he was like 3 or something. It's like, Mommy.
That happened to me for real. One day I was living with this lady, and her daughters crawled in the bed, and I ain't have on shit.
Yeah.
I was up under the cover.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, and one of her daughters was like, her daughter was, she was in high school. I think she was 15. Still not legal.
Now, this is a second accident. This is a second accident. This is a second. The first little girl was 9 years old. Now, this one is 15. Now, let's just give the sake of the argument that he's just making this up. Allegedly. None of this happened because all of this is alleged, right? Even though we got him saying it out his mouth, right? But all of this is alleged, right? So let's just say he's making this up. Now, on a mature, because we know Corey Holcomb has the maturity of a first grader, right? So on a maturity level, this is why black masculinity has been compromised in the way it is, because you don't understand what strong, solid black masculinity look like anymore. It's been reduced to a joke like this. So let's just say it was a joke, right? Let's just say he's making it up. Why would you want to make something up like this? Why would you want to make, because we do know comedians make things up, right? But why would you want to make something up of this level? But let's continue because Corey's joking. I got 100 and something people in my life. Why aren't we laughing? My God, this is jokes, right? Goddamn, we ought to be on cracking up in our side if this is just jokes.
Can't tell your true thoughts. My daughter was gonna be thick like her mama. I know that much.
Yeah.
Still not legal. You just can't tell your true thoughts. My daughter was gonna be thick like her mama. I know that much.
Yeah.
Bro, she was 9. 9. But wait, it gets worse because it always gets worse with this guy. So now he's on his show talking about how age is just a number and how other countries.
The brother that's narrating, his name is the Red Carpet Re-Up. I got permission from him to use his video. Go show this brother some love for the work that he doing. Show these black men love that's doing that's pulling this stuff out and speaking on this collectively. One band, one sound. Because it's stand-up black men that gotta speak out against this and let it know that it's not a joke. Shit ain't funny.
Different standards, and how the only reason we think the way we do is because society brainwashed us.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here like, nobody brainwashed me, bro. I just think kids are kids. That's not brainwashing. That's called having a functioning moral compass.
Hold on, let's go back to this younger brother because I don't know how old this brother is, but he sounds younger. But let's run it back. Let's run it back on this young brother. What he just say? Because notice my title said. Corey Holcomb thinks we were miseducated.
Who was arguing with me? You born to lose.
You're like, nobody in his show talking about.
My daughter was like, my daughter was she was in high
He
school.
definitely bragged.
Still not legal. You just can't tell your true thoughts. My daughter was gonna be thick like a mama. I know that one.
Yeah. Bro, she was 9. 9
years old.
It gets worse because
he
it always
bragging.
gets worse with this guy. So now he's on his show talking about how age is just a number and how other countries have different standards and how the only reason we think the way we do is because society brainwashed us. And I'm sitting here like, nobody brainwashed me, bro. I just think kids are kids. That's not brainwashing. That's called having a functioning moral compass.
It's not brainwashing. Because in the video, in the beginning, for the ones that just came in, I played a video and he said, we think the way we think in America, because you know you got to do the stupid idiotic faces, like the stupid idiot that he is. That the way Master taught us an age limit. And I could do a whole breakdown on Greco-Roman stuff. I could do a whole breakdown on Greco-Roman, Zeus, Ganymede. Understand who Zeus and Ganymede is. Understand in America, because it's not what you think in America. Understand when you look up NAMBLA, NAMBLA, the North American Man Boy Love Association. So you got to understand America for what it is. But Corey Holcomb's not trying to teach understanding. Corey Holcomb wants to teach, remove the age limit, because I always hated that saying age ain't nothing but a number. No. Age is also a maturity level. Age is also child. But let's continue with his jokes. Why y'all not laughing at my comments? These are jokes, y'all.
A little 16-year-old girl who was arguing with me. You born to lose.
Another commercial. And what I also want y'all to pay attention to,
you're gonna lose. And
I always talked about this in some of my other videos. Pay attention to how he devalues women and young girls. Much like he's doing right now, because he's always the victim. Somebody always against him. He always gonna come out on top. Sound like somebody else I know that's caught up in a scandal right now. The little tangerine toucher that called himself the president. Same mindset. Because when I say all the time, you can say you foundational Black American, you can call yourself whatever you want. But once you are Americanized, you think like them. Corey Holcomb is always the ultimate victim. Somebody always doing something. But listen to what he's saying about this 16-year-old girl.
Tell how you are. I'll be there when you lose, too.
Can you imagine if this they're like,
I'm going to find your back page handle, and I'm going to get at you, goddammit. When you sodomize a little boy, but it make a different sound, too.
Whoa.
Let me tell you something. America, guess what?
Whoa.
Get at you,
hold on. When you do what to a little boy? Say what? When you do what to a little boy? Listen to this, y'all. Let me turn this shit up.
When you sodomize a little boy, but it make a different sound, too.
No, don't.
Let me tell you something. America, guess what? Guess what, America?
Who jokes like that? For all you losers that's going to view this video and say, bro, they jokes. Who jokes like that? But again, Corey don't care about his children. You see, real fathers that raise children, read stories, teach lessons, cook meals, we don't find this stuff funny. Anyway, we see we probably got a supporter in here.
All you dummy who ain't never left the hood. I understand why you feel the way you feel, because Master taught you the way he taught you. But if you ever leave out the United States of America, you will find out this fair game at all these ages that is talking about right now. I've been on this earth 15, 16 years. It's ready. Hey!
Well, that doesn't make it okay. What the
We're
heck
not
are
saying
y'all
it's
talking
okay.
about?
I'm not saying it's
You're definitely saying it's okay. And see, that's the technology of how they make you think that they make you think that they're not down with something. They say, we're not saying it's okay, but I'm just gonna give you supporting evidence to why it's okay. I'm not saying it's okay because they know how it sounds. They know how the optics look and they know how the audio sound. So they try to do damage control and they try to play with your head and say, oh, I'm not saying I don't condone this, but I don't condone this, but no, ain't no but. If you don't condone it, you don't condone it. But it's always gonna be them goofies on the sideline that's gonna amp him up. Just listen to these jokes.
Well, please.
But a lot of these women are children. I am clarifying. I'm saying in America, you are limited to think that you got to wait for a hoe to be 18 for it to be.
Got to limit. I told you. Always check the devaluing. He don't see young girls worth nothing. Then you just hear he say he waiting on the young girl to fail so he could be on her back page. So in his mind, he don't see nothing but dirt alley, laying on dirty mattresses, back page, filthy 304. This is his mind. This is the best he can see. This is the best that he can see, the feminine energy. He can't see nothing else. He can never see nothing positive. Only thing he can see is that he's always the victim. Somebody's always out to get him. He can throw out all the allegations and call people backdooring, leaning a nigga ass long, tampon. I don't like Anton Daniels. But when you throw stuff out on people, you gotta have some sort of proof. And he giving you proof. I never realized how many adults want children. But you know what? When I was a little years ago, I say the same thing. Years ago, I never did either. But when I started observing and having certain conversations, I started listening to how they were defending it, right? I never thought so either. But when I started listening to how, damn, boy, they doing a lot of riding and defending this shit. And when you look at it, like I'm gonna tell you one that also exposed it, the Shannon Sharp situation, because this was a 19, and we're still hearing the common thing: 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13. What's the commonality? Teen. So when a westernized young man go pum up to school, they say his brain wasn't fully developed. He's only X amount, whatever teenage he is. But when you got these nasty, dirty old men like Corey Holcomb, like Donald Trump, you see how they think. They say, well, you know, what's her name? The white chick that kind of rationalized it for Donald Trump. Was it Laura Ingraham? If anybody know in the comments, was it Laura Ingraham? Where she said he didn't mess with like young girls. I think she said they were like 15. You always gonna have sympathizers. It's not just a black thing. It's not just a white thing. It's a filthy Americanized. It's a filthy Greco-Roman. It's a filthy Europeanized way of thinking. Megyn Kelly, thank you, Megyn Kelly. And here Megyn Kelly giving the same type of out. Well, they weren't that young. But let's continue with it, because we should be laughing.
right in your mind. But do the research on these other countries and find out what grown can put grown holes. You find out. See, me personally, I would never fuck with a
See that go to try to clean it up and say, I would never do it. But if you would never do it, you wouldn't be interested in it. You want to speak with such conviction and say, if you go over here, you find, and listen to the way he said, you can find out when you're able to stick grown 304s.
They develop.
Well, that's why they have an age.
But wait, let me say this. Let me say this, D.
Do it.
But hold on, he found the workaround. He
Found
really
it.
said,
Always
and I
gonna-
quote, "You can grow with them." So you find a 5-year-old, you grow with her, and by the time she's
Now listen
13
at
or
this.
14, her mind is developed. What?
In other places of the world, you can grow with her. You can mold her mind or whatever y'all gonna do where y'all ain't get the influence of whack United States. Because you understand in the United States of America, a bitch will say you did something, and depending on who the bitch is, that's no.
I hear you on
Now, what's funny right now, because see, it's always the talking point of these type of guys. Because they always say, somebody can say you did something while talking about and making a case to do something. He said they could say you did something to them, but if we don't have the influence of America in our business, I can grow with her. I can grow her mind, aka brainwash her. Another one to look up. Look up Jimmy Salvi. I think it's Salvie. Or I could be spelling it wrong, but Jimmy Salvi. What do you say? Brother, don't waste a powerful mind with nonsense. He too will be judged. Judging him doesn't matter at all. It's not your issue. It's his. Stop gossiping, my wise man. Hold on, okay. Now let me come in because you coming in to listen. See, now what you do when you come in a room, gossiping is, hey, you heard what such and such said? You said that's not my problem. As a black man, it is my problem. See, this is this whole eyes wide shut thing. This is this, I don't see nothing. I'm going to go talk about something else. When you have a supposedly black man that's supposed to be wealthy advocating for stuff like this, he make the whole bunch look bad. So if we all black men that just ignore this type of talk, this make it look like this I get down. I absolutely disagree with you. Now, if you don't want to speak on it, that's your thing. But come into a brother's room with some respect, my guy. It's absolutely when you have a black male like this talking about having his way with children, and you're gonna tell me it's not my thing. I'm gossiping about a black male talking about having his way with children, getting his way into women's house to have at their children. No, my guy. You got it effed up. You got it effed up. If that's not your issue, say that's not your thing. But shout out to all the black men that's drawing a line on this type of nonsensical behavior. Now, let's continue with these quote-unquote jokes. That's what's wrong with us. We try to dismiss things. Little children, little girls, and little boys are being caused trauma. And then when they grow up traumatized, or when the little girl grow up hypersexualized because she been had a dirty stepdaddy or a dirty old dude like Corey Holcomb smashing on her since she been 12 years old, you put her in a category and you call her a 304. And you judge her and you tell her she don't have no worth. And you tell her only worth is on her back. But when you dig into her childhood, she had a dirty old man like Corey Holcomb over her. So now stand up black men that love black women can't even love and can't even pour into a woman because you can't even touch her without triggering her about something some dirty old man 30 years her senior was doing. No, don't tell me that. You back up out my room talking like that.
that one, but at the same time, the maturity factor. See, I think you like the fact that in those countries they can marry somebody like that because they don't know what they're doing. You just said that these girls
Who don't know what they're doing?
those girls that young, so the guy's gonna. You just said they can grow together. You already know what you're talking about.
Judging him. We supposed to use judgment. I'm judging her. I'm judging the guy up here talking about pedophilic behavior. You should be judging it. You use your judgment.
Hey, I know some people. I know some people where the dude had to get permission to get married to the daughter,
Right.
and they are still together. It worked. Yeah.
They get pulled in.
Somebody said I said a 15, 16-year-old girl is perfect. Hey, I said a 15, 16-year-old girl is a perfect. You can have the healthiest baby you can have with somebody like that.
Statistics.
I said that. If you know anything about human anatomy, that's what I'm talking about. I said in America, if a girl is 18,
Now he's teaching anatomy. Now he going from comedy to teaching anatomy. But listen,
or under 18, it's drama. If you put under 18 in America, it's drama.
I mean,
wow, what happened to my video? Yeah, Corey done had him cut the switch on.
A perfect, you can have the healthiest baby you can have with somebody like that.
Statistics.
I said that. If you know anything about human anatomy, that's what I'm talking about. I said in America.
Thank you for that, Jimmy Salvo. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I can't see your name. I need glasses. Jimmy Salvo. Look him up. See, we keep talking about the Epstein files, and that's terrible. But we got to comb back, like I talked about the NAMBLA, NAMBLA, North American Man Boy Love Association. See, we got to understand culture. We got to understand how certain cultures get down. This is why this is important, especially for black men to stand on and talk about.
If a girl is 18 or under 18, it's drama. If you put a girl under 18 in America, it's drama.
I mean, when you grown, I don't think that helped the community, man. I'm just keeping it real. It's somebody like to say, once young girls are in high school and their bodies are developed a certain way, it look good. What are you growing, bro? What are you planting? This sounds like a confession wrapped in a hypothetical. That's not comedy. That's a red flag shaped like a punchline. And then he doubled down with some garbage about how 15 and 16-year-olds.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that right there. And I'm just reading the comments. He's adding to the issue. Wisdom seeks solution. Thank you. Wisdom seeks solution. Wisdom doesn't ignore problems. Because you have wisdom enough to say, yo, hey, what we need to do about this? And what's sick about us, we want to continue to, I don't see anything. Let's not talk about it because it's tearing a black man down. Never talking about what he's talking about doing while he up. So let's just make a comfortable bed for him to traumatize children. Hey, why not? Because we don't like kids anyway. F them kids. Ain't that's what they say? F them kids. I never liked that.
Who's the healthiest babies? I'm not even going to dignify that nonsense with a full breakdown. I'll just say this. That's not anatomy. That's predation with a thesaurus. Now here's what really gets me. When all this started blowing up, what did he do? He went on his show and played the victim.
As
said
always.
The media was out to get him. Said people were jealous.
And this brother right here, show this brother love right here. The red carpet re-up. Show this brother love right here. This is who audio I'm using. I got permission from him.
Said this was just like what they did to Michael Jackson and MLK. And I'm like, bro, you cannot compare yourself to MLK because some bloggers called you out for saying inappropriate things about children. That's not the same thing. That's not even the same universe. Look, I've been doing this for a while. I know when somebody is joking and I know when somebody is revealing themselves. And I've heard a lot of jokes in my day, but I have never heard one punchline from this man. Not one. Every story, every statement, every joke lands the same way. On minors. In situations.
Always about minors. Always, somehow it's always gonna come back to can I take my son and get him some before time? Who wants to do that? Who wants to do that? Who wants to rush and over sexualize a young man?
Where they shouldn't be. At some point, we got to stop calling it comedy and start calling it what it is. The receipts don't lie. The pattern doesn't lie. And no amount of they're trying to assassinate my character is going to change what's already on video.
Now, who said this right here? You're ignoring the fact that your flag promotes underage marriage. If you please go research this, I'm not even going to dignify that with a real answer. See, this is misinformation. I'm just reading through the comments. Please go research the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. It has nothing to do with what you're talking about. And I'm just going to keep it moving.
That's the thing about receipts. They don't care about your narrative. They just exist. And these exist in bulk.
We ain't worried about them. They were never the problem. What it is, we have mass media trying to shut down the voice of Corey Holcomb in the 5150 show, and of course, the blog.
Now, when I just like in my opening statement in my video, when I was talking directly to you, Corey, if you see this video and I'm talking directly to you, Corey, you're not smart enough. You're not intelligent enough, Corey. You keep running this talking about silencing the voice. They silence voices that are problems. You are helping the system. If you want to talk about prominent black figures that they silenced, it's because they were a quote-unquote threat or a perceived threat to the system. What you're talking about promotes the system. But Corey is a legend in his own head. And only because he got a bunch of bootlicking followers and a bunch of bootlickers on the sideline like Craig, and somebody who just there in Darlene, they never gonna tell him the truth because they want that check. So when y'all run around and say, how was R. Kelly able to get away with it? The same way Corey able to get away with it. Because pedophiles are sick people that are alleged pedophiles, because it's all alleged right now, right, Corey? But you're speaking mighty factually. They got a bunch of enablers around. Notice these preachers, these pastors, these quote unquote leaders, like a nature boy, these not Creflo dollars, Eddie Loans. They always what's the common thing? They always got a bunch of apologists. Do we remember the gymnast Larry Nassar? This is what pisses me off about us as black people. When we had that dude that was I think he was like a gymnast trainer or a coach, Larry Nassar, and he was doing that to all those young girls. What pissed me off, because they had apologists in theirs too, because you just got sick people that just try to make excuses for this, right? But what pissed me off was, I think it was Allie Raisman, and if somebody know what I'm talking about, and if I'm incorrect, correct me in the comments. And when she got up there and was able to speak to him directly, and they had all of them united, and when it's our women, and when it's our young girls, we got most of the idiots like the ones in my comments talking about, well, don't judge him. Well, they knew what they was doing. Well, she know what she wanted. And I can always remember watching that R. Kelly documentary, and something one of them young ladies said that stood out. Nobody gave an F about it, and I'm paraphrasing, because it was happening to black girls. But let's continue. Corey Holcomb been telling a lot of jokes. Goddamn, why we not laughing?
Who are envious of what we do are going to join in. Ever since TMZ has gave a one-sided version of what happened, it then got to the point where even a man like me, who I don't walk around living in fear, but I fear for my life now. because I see what has been said about me, and they are desperate to bring me down because the word pedophile has been thrown in the mix.
Now, listen to it. Now he want to play the Charleston White card, right? So he want to play the Charleston White card and say he's afraid for his life. No, he ain't. And now he's saying it's being thrown in the mix. This is why I don't like. This is why it's imperative that we speak, because he's able to say this is a third wave of video. You got 3 compilation videos of nothing but underage talk, and he said it's being thrown out. See, you use that in the term of the situation that happened with Michael Jordan a couple of weeks ago, when Michael Jordan won the racing championship, and he was brushing whatever he was doing off of that young man's backside or whatever he was doing, and they jumped out and they said, "Oh, Michael is sick. What is he doing?" Then you say that. And it took the young man's father to come out and say, "No, that's not what that was." When we say, "Where's the parents?" And what was funny was the people that wanted to put that on Michael Jordan, and with R. Kelly, they always say, "Where the parents?" Well, this young man's parent was right there and was letting you know, no, what y'all think this is, that ain't what it was. That's not what it is. So you rush out there. See, this is why you have to be wise and you have to have discernment. And I don't care if it's Michael Jordan. I don't care who it is. I don't have favorites when it's celebrity. I counseled Brad McKnight just based off of how he treated his children. So if you violate, I could love your music. I could love your talent. But if you violate and show me you got F-boy or F-girl energy, I don't want you in my cipher. I don't want you in my consciousness. But when he say bring him down, see, this is what the enablers do, because nobody has told Corey he's wrong. He's not going to listen because he ain't going to do nothing but do like he did with his man Zoe. I stopped rocking with, I really stopped, I lost every bit of respect I had for him when he did what he did to his homeboy Zoe. After Zoe put them paws on Aries Spears. And Corey Holcomb is the type of guy that will have animosity for you. And he'll wait till the opportune time and air out your business. And then this the guy. See, this is why we're in such a poor, sick fashion as black males, because who you allow in your consciousness affects your consciousness. So many people so many of these dudes are running around trying to do damage control. And I want to make sure I do a long video. Add me to the list. You flunkies. But he's trying to, because he's a legend in his own mind. His voice is doing damage. His voice ain't doing nothing. You have to be a threat to this system. Not try to be a part of it.
And let me tell you something. This is deep. I am no pedophile. I have never been accused of being a pedophile. I have never had charges of being.
He just speak like one. I'm not a pedophile, but I just talk like one. But go ahead.
A pedophile. This is something that's coming from the mass media, TMZ. Ever since they said what they said, I have been. They trying to.
What's funny is he said he has never been charged with this, and I guess this is facts. You know, because we're gonna tell truth on here. It's not about getting Corey. It's about exposing his mindset. But what's funny is, in the hypocrite that he is, he's able to put out allegations on O'Shea Duke Jackson. He's able to put out allegations on Joe Budden, who I don't like particularly. He's able to call these guys gay or backdoor. He's able to put that on a man's jacket. No proof. Well, I can't say with the whole Joe Budden, because the way he was talking about Lil Fizz, might got a point. You might got a case there. But anyway, he's quick Because he has the mindset of the bitter female that he talks about all the time, right? Notice when he talks about bitter females, how they put stuff on your name without no proof. That's exactly what Corey Holcomb does. The moment somebody disagrees, the first thing he tries to do is destroy a man's character, is to call him gay. But
I mean, for real. Let me tell you something, what they do. Because they did this to Michael Jackson. They did this to Martin Luther King. They did this to Malcolm X. They did.
now, this is where I really had a problem, because you're liking yourself to guys, especially the Malcolm X and MLK. Y'all might not agree with some of MLK get down, but MLK put boots on the ground, and I ain't talking about no dance. MLK really stood for something, and he put himself in the category of a guy that don't do nothing but tell distasteful jokes and about child support, leaving his children behind. I mean, he's been telling you who his character is for years. He's been talking about, he even sexualized in the last video that I did on him, to where he sexualized his own daughter. To where he sexualized a 5-year-old girl, talking about she was sucking on a Welch's juice bottle. Where he was talking about another little girl that her jaws are being prepared for work. Who thinks like this? And then you put yourself in a category with Malcolm X. Malcolm X would never. He would never. He took care of his children. But he's a legend in his own mind.
To so many people, when they ready to come get you, they assassinate your character so people don't look at you as a human being.
You don't look at people as a human being, Corey. The receipt, what we just listened to, you don't look at these little girls as human beings. And he says when they're ready to assassinate you. You're not Cat Williams. You're not a Cat Williams. You haven't told real truth.
They look at you as a villain. So they're using mass media now to come holler at your boy. This isn't little weak bloggers. Little weak bloggers have been talking crazy about me.
Oh, but these little weak bloggers are bothering him. Cause I saw what's his little fanboy, what's his little sidekick, Craig. I saw him in another brother's video, and the brother was doing a face on this video. And Craig is talking about, I would pay you to reveal your identity. Because what y'all want to do? You're a grown man. These are grown men that are over the age of 30. I don't know how old Craig is, but Corey is almost 60 years old. This is what we call arrested development. And I think this is about it after this.
Ever since I've been on air, but TMZ took a one-sided story of a woman who's addicted to
Now listen.
drugs and quite dangerous.
Get an ultimate
Now,
office suite.
now he.
Docs, sheets,
Let me say this.
slides.
Now he assassinates her character, Christina Payne. Notice when he talks about Christina Payne, he always tries to put out that she's on drugs. See, you gotta pay attention to the technology. This is why I say Corey Holcomb, Charleston White, Donald Trump, Umar Johnson, all of them sound smart to dumb people. So when you listening to him, he actually doing what he say, what he accusing everybody else of. Assassinating people's character, want to use certain information to get you to look at her. He walks up on her and hits her in the face, mushes her. He walks up and put his hands on her. We're going to put it at that because people say, oh, he mushed her. Oh, well, she pointed her finger. But when he was talking to old marblehead ass Anton Daniels, he had a lot of self-control. So when we look at this and we say, okay, he walks up on a woman and puts hands on her, then he says it's a one-sided. No, we looking at the video. We're looking at the video of how much self-control you had when it was Anton Daniels. Y'all was sitting damn near nose to nose at almost. And you didn't put your hands on him. But all of a sudden now, we got these dudes. And I'm going to go as far as to say, any dude that still listens to Corey Holcomb got those type of tendencies. I'm not going to say mess with children tendencies, but they got low vibrational dysfunction. They'll beat on women. They abandon children. They probably will look at your underage daughter. Because anybody that revere Corey Holcomb, I check your sanity. Like I said, he was funny when I was a teenager. And I'm an overly grown man now. He was funny when I felt like a child. But now as I'm a grown man, this shit is not funny. We keep saying, oh, it's just dark comedy. You don't understand. Listen, I grew up in a comedy era. I grew up with HBO. I grew up with Def Comedy Jam. I grew up listening. One of the most raunchiest comedians was Andrew Dice Clay. Good God Almighty, that white boy told some filthy jokes. I never found it much funny as a kid. But that's white humor. We're going to stop saying dark humor. I didn't find that funny. Appreciate y'all. I'm just reading the comments right now. OG Bobby Johnson. Y'all just said some shit in these comments. Sooner than later, everyone get caught. Jared Fogle from Subway. Whoever in now, remember Jared Fogle from Subway? Allie Carter. That was Allie Carter. That name sounds familiar. I'm gonna look her up. Is that the female, or is that the young lady that's connected to Jay-Z? I don't know much about her, but I will look it up. Stay on Corey's neck. Appreciate y'all. I'm just reading the comments. Somebody say Corey Holcomb has a mental illness as well as an Aries. You know what I'm saying? If he's an Aries, hey, if he's an Aries, you just told me a lot. Because from my experience, I'm just talking about my experience, I always have said Aries are the most mentally unstable of the signs of the zodiac. From my experience. I think the Aries are the most mentally unstable, and they don't know it because they think that. And notice, everybody thinks that their sign is the shit, right? Everybody thinks highly of their sign. Everybody thinks that their other side trumps everybody else's other side. But I agree, those Aries, they don't have a filter. And they don't have a gray area, and they think because when you tell them, oh, y'all don't have a filter, y'all don't have a gray area, they think that that's something to brag about, but it's really not. Because in them not having a filter or a gray area, they get to an age like Corey Holcomb to where they're 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and they still don't have that filter, or they still don't have that level to how to control what comes out their mouth, and they think it's cool. And when you 20 something and you flying off at the mouth, even 30s, yeah. But when you're in your 40s and you still don't know how to control what you say, ain't nobody trying to hear that. Thank you. I'm just reading comments. Never been accused of that right there says it all. Okay, so for you that say never been accused of that, right there already says it all. So what do you mean by that? If you still in the room, CB, what do you mean by that? Do you mean because he's never been caught? So if somebody steals your car and you never catch them, or they never been accused because you don't know who did it and you don't really have no proof that they did it, does that mean they stole your car or not? Or does that mean they never just got caught? See, we've never heard the women that Corey Holcomb deal with speak. See, all of this is his admission. When he was on Cam Newton, remember when he was on Cam Newton? And I think Cam Newton as a man, I think Cam Newton speaks crazy too when talking about masculinity. Him speaking on sports, cool. But when he goes to talking about, like, he speaks different, right? But this is not about Cam Newton. When he was on Cam Newton's show, remember they had a segment to where he was talking about basically beating up on a woman. And he asked Cam, he said, "You've never had to hold a B head to the glass to show her she's not stronger than you?" And Cam was like, "No." Cam was looking at him like, so much that toward the end, Cam Newton was like, "Yo, you was just joking when you said that, right?" Right? So he gets out here, but we've never heard him beat up on a woman, right? Outside of him putting his hands on Christina Payne, right? So with him putting his hands on Christina Payne, does that say he have a reputation of putting his hands on women, or where's the limit? Do we need him to do it like to 3 or 4 women before he got a reputation, or is one enough? So the fact that he can continue to tell these jokes for years, because these are old videos. When you look at the video, some of the videos, and Zoe is looking disgusted. Some of these videos, you still got guys that's not even affiliated with the show no more. So he's been making these jokes for years. He's been taking you into the lives and the houses of the women that he deal with and telling you, "I looked at her daughter in an inappropriate way." But you say, he ain't never been accused of it. Come on. If you are a black man, come on, think better than that, G. Think better than that, guy. Get off your knees with the Corey stuff, because I'm gonna start to think when y'all do that. I'm gonna start to think if you messing with a woman, and ladies, be careful with bringing these guys. I'm gonna tell y'all, and I tell my little niece, and I tell the ladies in my family, especially the young ones, do certain questions. Never let them know your answer, because they just gonna figure out a way to manipulate and answer it in a way. But just randomly ask them what they feel about R. Kelly. Fellas do the same thing, because it's just as much sick females. Randomly ask them, and the reason I use R. Kelly as a litmus test, because for some reason, sick black folks feel like it's their duty to defend him. It's their duty to say, not care nothing about the victims. Remind me of Vince McMahon when he just ran into them folks and didn't ask nothing about the victim. He didn't care nothing about the car that he hit. So randomly ask them, ladies, ask them what they feel about Corey Holcomb. And don't give him no answer. Don't give him no answer and tell him he's sick. Just if he making an excuse for Corey Holcomb, know what type of dude he is. Some of these dudes be telling y'all who they are right in your face. Ask him what he think about. Ask him what did he think about this whole Corey Holcomb drama. And he'll tell you his personality, right? If you say, "Well, man, they was just jokes." And if you got a little daughter, if you got a 13-year-old daughter, that's the end of that interview. Don't give him the benefit of the doubt. Doubt the benefit that you're trying to give him. Don't give him the benefit of the doubt. Doubt the benefit that you're trying to give him. Don't let that go over your head. Because if these guys can sit up here and minimize what we just sit up here and listen to, it speaks volume. That shows you right there you don't have no protector. He's not gonna value your daughter. He probably honestly just trying to get what he can get up out of you. Did you hear when Corey said the young girl? I don't know if it was the 9-year-old or the 15-year-old, but he said she saw why her mama wasn't charging me no rent. Now, what did that little girl see that she saw why she wasn't charging him no rent? See, in a predator's psyche, he chooses his victims well. A lot of times they choose children that come from dysfunctional households. They choose children that don't have a stand-up male protector in their lives. Single mothers. They choose their victims wisely, right? So in Corey Holcomb's case, and you can go back and listen to him on Cam Newton. I'm not gonna put no words in his mouth. I don't have to. He got so many goddamn receipts. We ain't even gotta put nothing in his mouth. He said he basically just like women that you can take to the outlet mall, give them a couple of dollars, just happy that he threw them something. He doesn't want a woman that is on her stuff, that is quote unquote independent, whatever that is. He doesn't want a woman that's a challenge because he say she gonna think that she's better more than me. She gonna think that she can tell me what to do. He wants a woman that's psychologically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually lower than him. Easy to control. We ain't talking about we trying to assassinate his character. Your character been around too long. Joe Budden is a monster too. He just matured a little and moved away from it. I can believe that. I can believe that, CB. I can believe that. Because what I heard him say about Lil Fizz, no straight man should ever speak on another dude like that. What I've heard some of these women say about, that's why I say I don't care for Joe Budden. I don't care for a lot of these guys. But once those receipts come out, we got a solid to do because we got to protect. I got a little girl. I teach my little girl, yo, dudes that think like this, run. I'm just reading more comments. Jay-Z going to jail? I think Jay-Z will find his day of reckoning at some point. I think LeBron James is going to find his day of reckoning. I think that's why he doesn't want to retire. I think a lot of these guys that have benefited, at some point, they're going to meet their fate. See, you can only dance with the devil so long until the music change. Am I a Trump supporter? No, if you listen to me and I say Donald Trump sounds smart to dumb people, why would you think I'm a Trump supporter? Or ask me about a Trump supporter? Aries Spears, he beat that. I agree about Aries. Yeah, Aries are mentally unstable, and nobody is telling them enough. Grown adults going off of zodiac signs is wild. Well, the host is already proven he's mentally unstable with that alone. Man, whoever. James. I bet you my mental would smoke your mental. Easy money. You would be easy. See, this is what they do. Again, because just like Corey, if they don't believe something, they try to box you and say, I said going off of my experience with people under them. I said, whose experience? I didn't say your experience, homie. I said my experience. Some people say the same thing about my zodiac sign. But if you do your natal chart, you would understand more about yourself. But I doubt y'all even read books. Hey, James, what's the last book you read? What was the last book you read last year? Because this year is just start. So, James, tell me about your mental. What's the last book that you read? Him saying that he's never been accused of it just shows that he's guilty. Exactly. Just because you've never been accused or convicted of something, that don't mean you've never done it. Let me read. I think I'm almost caught up. What did Corey Holcomb do? Just being a nasty, dirty old man. That's what he did. And he always gives this dirty old man vibes. Corey Holcomb can joke and 50 Cent can't. See, no, nobody's saying that they can't joke. But how funny would you find it if somebody making fun of your wife? See, we love to joke when it's at somebody else's expense. But let's just say, Jason, who said this? J. King something? My Holy King? Let's say My Holy King, and that name right there probably sells a lot. But let's just say you got a woman, My Holy King. So that means somebody could joke. I mean, the world already make a joke out of your woman. So that means you'll find it funny with somebody joking on your woman, and you'll let they have a pass. See, y'all be getting out of hand with these jokes, and I always say it almost damn near every live. That's why Will Smith slapped the hell out of Chris Rock, because y'all say, "Oh, he wouldn't have did The Rock like that. Oh, he wouldn't have did Mike Tyson like that." And I always counter and say, Chris Rock wouldn't have did Tom Hanks like that. He wouldn't have did Tom Hanks' wife like that. Because there's a line of respect. But because Jada is a black woman, whether you like her or not, she don't deserve to be protected. And that's the thing that I want y'all to understand with the people that think like this. They more so just want you to devalue your people. 50 Cent can joke all day, but let me ask you a question about 50 Cent. Would he joke like that about Robert Greene? How come you never seen him just troll the shit out of white people? Would he embarrass Robert Greene, who wrote the 50th law with him? Or who wrote the 48 Laws of Power? Would he joke to a point of embarrassing him? And if the answer is no, then why can't you joke non-discriminately? Where can you find this material? They around. Just put Corey Holcomb PDF in. You can't joke with everybody. That's the thing. And that's the thing y'all got to understand. Everybody ain't playing. Everybody not playing. Brooks M983, Corey Holcomb needs to be looked at immediately. And here's the funny thing. He says all this incriminating stuff about himself. He said, when they come after me, and if they look into my hard drive, they're going to have a lot to look at. I'm paraphrasing. Right? So he's pointing and incriminating himself saying, yo, look into this. Don't look into this. Ain't no telling what you'll find. You probably will find all kind of underage stuff. Allegedly. Corey Holcomb calls Steph Curry's mom and wife 304s. They did nothing. No one said nothing. You see what I'm saying? Everybody, notice this, everybody's something wrong. Okay, end of the comments. Kids is not a laughing matter nor a joking matter. And it depends on what you're joking about. If you're joking about funny stuff, my little baby does funny stuff all the time. But when you begin to sexualize children, that's not funny. When you stop and you say, this 5-year-old girl had a Welch's juice bottle in her mouth, why are you looking at a 5-year-old girl in that fashion? You can't fight the world. Who said you're fighting the world? But you can fight some of the world issues. See, I don't see when y'all come in and just say don't do nothing. And that's how that comes across. That's not what you said, but that's how that comes across. What are we? Okay, my holy king, are you a black man or are you a white man? Be honest. If you non-black, then that moved the goalpost of how we having this conversation. If the world is, I'm a saved black man. What are you saved from? What are you saved from? If the world is this, and what are you going to do? See, you. I think we having two different conversations because you saying, well, what are we supposed to do? You say, what would Jesus do? I'm asking you. You say ignorance. You say you saved from ignorance. But these talking points can come across like that because how you coming across is like, don't do nothing. The world might say this. What is your job as a saved black man? What are you supposed to battle? And what are you supposed to defend? Walk away. Words can't hurt you. See? That's what the saved man thinks. Now, no disrespect to what you worship in your religious preference. That's your right. You got a divine right to serve whatever you want. But I will not cower up and say, don't say nothing to a grown man, whether he a celebrity or whether he just an average man. Don't turn the other head on the other cheek, or turn your head when you hear a man making inappropriate jokes about children. See, like I said, we having two different conversations because you asking me, what did I say I want to do life in prison? Fighting doesn't always mean physicality. See, that's the cowardice that you always think that speaking up or standing up for something, or when we say defend, your mind always goes to physicality. But see, you can sit around and listen that black males weaponize their masculinity and say women ain't this, women ain't that. But you have all of this kumbaya, let's just hold hands and walk away. when you hear black males talking about standing up and just saying, "No, bro, you can't. No, bro, talking like this is not permitted." He can lead to what? Well, see, you do, but see, listen though, homie. You do what you want to do with your masculinity. That's the thing that we have to stop trying to tell everybody what to do. This is our problem. This is why we can't solve nothing. Because you don't like what I'm saying, or you don't think that I'm supposed to use my masculinity in the way that I'm using it. I ain't telling you you shouldn't use yours in that way. I just wouldn't use it like that. I just wouldn't not do anything or walk away. You can't walk away from everything. Somebody kick you in your ass, you just gonna walk away. Somebody spit in your face, you just gonna walk away. Somebody's talking and making inappropriate gestures about your daughter, or you just gonna walk away. And then you gotta realize the message you sending to her, that no matter what somebody do, just sit there and take it. You generally speaking, I'm directly speaking to pedophilia. I'm not generally speaking. I'm directly speaking to males objectifying children. Don't tell me to walk away. You walk away from that. This is why we have so much trauma in the home, because nobody want to deal with uncle that been touching on the family for years. Nobody want to deal with auntie that been touching on the kids for years. So this is why you have a collective of people that don't see no problem, because the sickness has always been in the secrets. What goes on in this house, do what in this house? I never liked that saying, because yes, no, you're not supposed to always air your business out. But a lot of times when somebody say what goes on in this house, stay in this house, and that could lead to protecting and covering up abuse. I'm not in prison either. I'm sitting in my house. I don't walk away from everything, but also in my wisdom, I know how to approach a man and use discernment. I know how to use my intellect. What I'm saying is, a man, if you don't have something, if you won't stand up for your family, then you don't deserve that family. If your answer is to walk away from everything, then by God, man, I'm not saying run toward everything, but by God, we can't walk away from everything. But that's what Christianity has done. You keep taking everything to prison, though, homie. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about what you keep saying about prison. If somebody does something foul to my baby, prison is okay with me. Some things are worth doing time. If somebody violates my child, I don't want to hear, I just want to stay at home. Because we being so peaceful, so we're not even protecting. Do you know how many lady friends I have that have told stories of of assaults, of their stepdaddies coming into their rooms and nobody did anything? Of men that live with them coming into their rooms and their children? But we don't want to have this conversation. You know why? Because it makes people uncomfortable having this conversation. Let God take care of it. Like God took care of slavery. God show you the problem so you can deal with it. God watches pedophilia all day. He ain't gonna take care of it, and that's not a diss. But let's get out of putting everything in God's hands. Maybe God's hands is full. What is your job? You keep getting out of doing something, and that's you. Some of us have discernment, and the Lord guides us from ignorance. Okay, and some of us have discernment to stand up for our family. You deal with things your way. If sticking your head in the sand is your answer for everything, that's you. On the road trip. Making everybody who? But I'm about to get out of here because but my thing is, shout out to the black men that are speaking up. If you don't feel like it's your place, then it's not your place. If you don't want to say anything, that's your right. But don't stand in the way of the brothers and sisters that's saying something. If you feel hiding is the answer and just walking away, then walk away. Go over there. Go over there to the do nothings. Because you haven't given me one thing that's worth standing up for. You keep telling me put it in the hands of the Lord. And that's by design. Give everything to the Lord, or when it's something, blame it on the devil. Taking accountability away. Taking the ability to have accountability because it said that devil's so busy. The devil is within. It's a balance of energy. It's your higher self and your lower self. Right. Somebody said, we as a group of people refuse to do the right thing, afraid to speak out because of retaliation from so-called friends and family, no accountability. So we walk around ignoring. That's what it's like to be, from my standpoint, to be black in America. We're always told to ignore racism. We're always told to ignore what's happening in the family. We're always told to ignore everything. So it's generationally taught to do nothing. Oh, well, people gonna be people. Oh, well, people gonna do what they gonna do. And this stuff has been taught for generations, and that's why they do what they do. You get a bunch of people in the comments talking about, I would just give it to the Lord. You know, it reminds me of, and I did a short of this on my channel, reading the book from Asada Shakur. And she was talking about when she met up with the NAACP. And they were having this conversation on nonviolence. And the guy was going around the room asking, what would they do? What would you do if a white boy or white folks pushed you? And they were like, I would just keep going. Well, what would you do if they hit you? I wouldn't do nothing. I would just do what I come to do. Then it got to the point, I think they said, well, what would you do if they spit on you? I would just keep praying and just do what I come to do. She said, hey, that was enough for me. She said, now some of the other stuff I might have been able to get with, but letting some crocodile spit on me, that's just too far. And she said they told her because she wasn't ready to fight, they basically dismissed her. Because she's not going to let somebody do anything to her, she was looked at as weak. She was looked at as not ready. And that's how we are in America. We're always told to just ignore. Now we at a point we don't even defend children. Somebody in my comments brought up 50 Cent. 50 Cent talks about Notori Nottin, who don't bother nobody. Tierra Marie. He even picked out on Beyonce's mother. But because y'all respect money and status more than y'all respect character, and y'all say he just be trolling, everybody ain't playing. Do you know anyone who has come back from life? I feel like, what is that comment about? We've been conditioned to do nothing for fear of retaliation. And if you listen to my content, I talk about conditioning so much. I talk about behavior modification. When I'm not talking about things like this, I'm talking about Albert Bandura. I'm talking about B.F. Skinner. I'm talking about people, Dr. Ewan Cameron. Look up these names. People that have done a ton or done a job on the psyche of people. But I split it and I go back to my people. And like they said, we have been conditioned to do nothing. We've been taught just to keep going. No, I don't know. How did you have the only revelation from God? Who is that for? They respect money and status more than character. Okay, somebody said, the game is about power. They took paddling out of school. Disrespectful kids became disrespectful adults. Feeding the prison and drug system. Let me spend some time on that comment before I get out of here. Fact, the game is about power, which we have none, right? We always have pseudo power, right? They took paddling out of schools. I don't know how I feel about that, right? Because we've been taking butt whoopings for years, right? Okay, so they took paddling out of school. And go back to what those names I just named. You said the kids became disrespectful adults, right? Through the socialization, they became more disrespectful. Through the music, they became more disrespectful. Through the movies, they became more disrespectful. I remember when I was here in my city and I used to do AM radio live. And I was on a radio station here. I wasn't on there much long because I talk just like how I talk on this. And I remember interviewing this brother from the continent. And what he said spoke volumes. He said, before the coming of certain movies, like Menace to Society. Now, I want you to also listen to go back what I was talking about behavior modification. He said before movies like Menace to Society, Boys in the Hood, and those type of movies that they introduced to our minds. Because you have to understand the behavior, right? When we think that black people specifically are so out of control, as Boosie with that white stuff in the crack of his mouth would say, as he said on Vlad, that we are the most violent people ever. And this would let you know Boosie don't know what the hell he's talking about. Because if we were the most violent people, we would not be in this condition. So you have to show decade by decade of this degenerate behavior, right? So how did we go from the 50s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s to us being that way? How come we weren't pulling drive-bys and selling crack in our neighborhoods in the 40s, in the 50s? Right? Follow where I'm going. How come we wasn't talking like we talking? Because each decade they conditioned us worse. Right? So once the quote unquote substance, because I'm figuring out YouTube, you can't say certain things. Once certain substances were put into, there's a book, and I give out a lot of books on this live. There's a book called Monster. It's by Sainka Shakur or Cody Scott, and he talks about how when drugs was introduced into the neighborhood, it was almost like a foreign culture that gobbled the people up. So when we look at TV series like what's the one with Franklin Saint? What was that one? What was that one with Franklin Saint? Anybody know? But anyway, that TV show. And it's gonna drive me crazy not knowing the name of it. But anyway, y'all know what I'm talking about. And notice how they had that one sister that was getting ready to go to college until she got a hold of that substance. And that substance flipped her life upside down. Now they put that in that community for a specific reason. Right? So back to the disrespect of what that person was saying, the disrespect was manufactured. We wasn't raised in disrespectful children. In the 50s and the 40s and the 60s and the 70s, we wasn't known to talk back to our parents. Those were those white children. Fuck you, mom. You're such a whore, mom. So we have to go back and also examine us by decade, but we also have to examine them. And in examining them, they're the only one that have been consistently violent. They have consistently destroyed communities. That animals didn't become extinct until they got a hold of them. So we have to change how we see each other. That's what self-hate does. Self-hate kills not only how you see you, but how you see your people. I'm just catching up. There's more comments. Y'all are keeping the comments rolling. It's always the mind your business comments. That's always funny. Who do you think feeding the drugs? Who do you think put the drugs in the community? Survive 2025. Who do you think put the drugs in the communities? Like I said, in the book Monster by Cody Scott or Sainka Shakur, he's one of the OG Crips. So he's talking about the foundation of how the community was prior and after. Oh, he said, "Oh, okay. Appreciate you. Appreciate the clarity." He said he got a revelation. Appreciate the clarity, yo. Whack 100 this Ti. Kodak this Ti wife. How come he didn't answer them? But the question is, why are they dissing his wife? How can Kodak Black defend Donald Trump? See, here's the thing that y'all saying, oh, why he ain't saying this? Why he ain't saying that? Why are they dissing a man's wife? How come they want to diss Melania Trump? Like we keep talking about the most mindless things, right? We saying, oh, whack 100, whack 100. That's all he do. But did you see that video where he was on Adam 22 and I forget what white boy they had came in the building? How hard he was wiping the table for the white boy that came in? How can we say collectively we are stronger and we are men, but we go out our way to not mention white boys and don't say nothing about them? It's always us because that's how the Willie Lynch chip works. You're only allowed to talk about your own. We're only allowed to be violent toward each other. We're only allowed to take things out on each other. We don't even know what it looks like to take things out on the other people because we understand there's a code or there's a consequence that's automatically embedded. We know not to do that. I absolutely agree, cartoon actor. We need to bring back. We need to bring respect back into the black community for the old people and the young people and the middle people. We need to show what respect look like. And so it ain't saying, oh, well, why won't he keep that same energy for Whack 100? Again, why are they dissing a man's wife for no reason? Why don't they show the same energy? You have a tangerine dude right now that's destroying the world. How come they won't speak on that? Where's the same energy with that? You got ICE agents running around. Where's the same energy for that? Because they know better. They know it's gonna be a consequence for that. So they'll rather focus on Tiny, who don't bother nobody. Exactly. They came in and they were government sanctioned. Somebody said paddling represents power. Um, Paddling also represents whippings. Because listen to what we're saying. When we say whooping, I'm from the South, so we say whooping down here. But where did whippings? Who were known to get whippings? It's a submission. My child won't agree, so I'm going to whoop them. I don't whoop my children, but guess what? They understand. They understand when they out of line. Beating a child or whooping a child shows that you don't have real parenting skills. Right? Paddling shows submission. I don't know what else to do, so I'm just gonna hit them. And it ain't gonna really make them not do something. They just gonna it's just like I have cats. And so it's just like cats are the hardest ones. You can't train a cat the way you can train a dog. Cats are always gonna do what the hell they want to do. Right? But we're so used to being Americanized. Now here go the stuff of America, as Corey was trying to talk about. We're so used to just what they say, spare the rod, spoil the child. You don't always have to come down. Notice that a lot of these Christians, when it comes to fighting or standing up to the oppressor, they talk about turning the other cheek. Non-violent, but when it's their children, they want to put hands on their children. But that's always funny to me. Exactly. Whipping kids is in our ancestral culture. It is an anomaly that occurred and gained acceptance after being mishandled by enslavers. Exactly. Belief is not facts. Fact. And I always say this when somebody say I believe, and I always give them the same thing. If I say I know something, I'll say I know. If I'm not sure, I'll say I believe. Belief show uncertainty. So I always use the example. I say, if I say, hey, will you take me to my family house? And they say, you know how to get there? And I say, I believe I know how to get there. You might have to use your GPS, or we might finna get lost. But if I say, oh yeah, I know how to get there. I go there all the time. That is certainty. So when somebody tell me what they believe, that's their right. When we get into what we believe about the earth being flat or round, it's all belief. Are you a foundational Black American? I'm just going to point to that, and that answer your question. Look at Survive 2025 said, look at who are the big wigs in the music industry. And big wig, I like to call you big wig. Survive 2025, check out one of my other videos that I just did the other day when I talked about JD talking about the brat almost got him killed. And they told the story of, matter of fact, I might be able to play it instead of telling you, because you're so right. And that's what we don't look at. Survive 2025. Are you still in the room? I'm supposed to get out of here, mess around with y'all. But I like it. Let me see if I still got it. Let me see if I still got it. Oh, let me read the rest of these comments. Let me see if I still got it. And that's what we have to understand. Let me see if I still got it. Here we go. Now listen to this.
This year, we opened 2 new restaurants while running, how many?
5 others.
5 others.
JD was here, and he talks about the time you almost got him killed.
Oh, when you kidnapped Mariah?
When you kidnapped Mariah Carey. Break that story down.
Like, so what if he died? He died.
No.
Somebody said big wigs wear small hats. I like that saying. Nah, he doesn't look like foundational Black American. Boy, y'all just be saying anything. Boy, you gonna rip your shirt with all that reaching. See, even that, and I'm gonna get to this video, even that, how small they have shrunk in your mind to make us fight over who's FBA and who's not. And y'all say, oh, he doesn't look FBA. She doesn't look FBA. And they tearing up America. And like I told somebody a couple of lives ago, I said, and he told me he was FBA, right? And I said, brother, if I saw you in trouble, I would help you. My first thing wouldn't be, is he an African nationalist? Does he represent this flag? Well, I'm not going to help him because he's not that. And you don't understand the technology behind that. He doesn't look FBA. No, I don't fear being African. Don't let that go over your head. But let's go to this video.
He took us to her house. I think we were filming a video, and or either we just went. I think we were filming. I can't remember, but we went there a few times.
Snowfall, thank you, because that was gonna bother me. Snowfall, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Snowfall, thank you. Goodness, that was gonna bother me.
she came out. I think this was my first time meeting her. We was hanging out. She was super cool. We instantly had chemistry in jail, and we was laughing about shit, cracking jokes on people. Like it was just like we had knew each other forever. So she was showing me around the house, and she was telling me, because in some rooms, like the
can y'all hear this? Okay. It is a false movement created to create division. But can y'all hear this? Okay.
In certain places, they had microphones in the wall, so she would tell me, you know, when
hold on, listen to this
around
now.
the house, and she was telling me, because in some rooms, like the closet, in certain places, they had microphones in the wall, so she would tell me, you know, when is a good time to talk about shit and when it was not or whatever. So, you know, she showed me her car.
They had microphones in the wall. No, it seems like you're mad that I'm not FDA.
And it was like 15 cars in the garage. Now, mind you.
And that's not how you spell your. That's your, like possession. That's not how you spell your. But you learned that in America, so.
I ain't never seen this type of shit before. I just been to JD house and seen his riches. I ain't seen shit else. So I'm at Mariah's house, who lived next door to Ralph Lauren with Tommy Mottola. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, so she had a fleet of fucking cars in the garage. And I'm like, whose cars is these? She was like, they mine. I said, well, bitch, let's go. I said, what's near here? And she was like, there's a Burger King up the street. I was like, let's go get some fries. So we get in the car.
What car now?
I think it was a Cadillac. It was like a pink, old school pink Cadillac. Everything was shined up and brand new. No.
Now, and I'm playing this for the brother that said the big wigs, and then the brother that said big wigs wear small hats. And when we talk about like who's the real controller of power, it ain't 50. I tell you that.
It was just clean. I was like, oh my God, in heaven. So we get out. She never told me she don't drive, or she never really drove the cars. Tommy, I guess, just bought them for her. So they just sit there. So we in the car, we riding, she driving, I'm chilling. I'm like, yes, I'm having a good time. We playing music. And then all of a sudden my phone started blowing up. I think we had the Skytails or something back then. And JD was like, get
Skytails. Y'all don't remember Skytails? You ain't old enough to be in this line.
Back here right now, Brad. I don't know what y'all do, but you need to get back here. They need you back right now. I'm like, nigga, no. We going to Burger King up the street. What is wrong with you? We going a mile up the street to Burger King. So I still want to see you, nigga, when I get back. He kept blowing me up like, Brad, no, you don't understand. I need you to get back. I didn't know they had the guns out where JD was at, making him tell me to get her back here. I'm like, it ain't me that was gone. Mariah wanted to go too. She the one that drove. So yeah, that's what happened.
So it's Mariah Peoples, like
it's Tommy Mottola.
It's Tommy Mottola, right? So we all know about Michael Jackson when he beat Sony, and who did he stand up on that stage and say was the devil? Tommy Mottola. Now finish listening.
Look,
they thought they were kidnapping Mariah. So did y'all get to Burger King?
Yeah, we got to Burger King and got them fries. But when we came back, they took her away, and I was like, oh my God, I felt like she was in trouble. Like Tommy Mottola, she was really like a princess in the castle. Like it was like on Shrek when the princess Fiona was in the castle and could not, and honestly, when we was in that house, anytime she would laugh, anytime she would look like
FBA versus everybody but white supremacists. See, when I hear y'all saying draw lines, it ain't but one line, in my opinion, that need to be drawn. And it's against them white boys. It's against them small hats. See, they got us doing this whole thing. That only thing we doing is fighting because you want control of something that you ain't gonna never get.
Was having fun, security would come get her. Like it was a horrible but good experience for me. But I hated seeing her like that. But I think in a lot of ways, when we talked and stuff, she got to vent and express herself. We both are Aries. We both are eternally 12.
Oh, they goddamn Aries. They go to goddamn Aries.
You know what I'm saying? She started to send the helicopter and stuff, and we'd go to Disney World and just fly one ride and come back just to like relax and stuff. Like she was really like trapped in that relationship, and it was horrible. Like I had never.
What do you gain from being in America? See, I can't make you see an answer if your mind is already made up. If your mind is made up that this pen is blue, and no matter how much I tell you this pen is not blue, if it's made up in your mind that this pen is blue, I am not going to have a conversation with you. I don't. I'm at a point in my journey that I don't do that because, like I always say, and I'm about to get out of here, that America is your bike. You read from Friday. America is your bike. And these white supremacists, especially these ones in office now, they got your bike. Taking it up with is not going to get your bike back. What is your plan for America? If y'all love America so much, don't ask me my plan. Because if I can get up out of here, I can get up out of here. You can have it. It's totally controlled. The educational system is shit. It doesn't respect you. How come y'all are not riding for the young homie that just got found hanging from that tree? We focused on the wrong things. You focused on this diaspora war. But they bring white South Africans into America, your country, and they're not doing this. Because they know that it's about white genetic survival. And they know that they're trying to preserve white genetic annihilation. So I don't like the ones that want to get in and talk about the flag. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I fly. Who says I'm not? Like no, because no, Steve, you said, why am I not fighting for them? But you the one saying this is your home and you love America so much. My thing is with FBA, how come y'all don't speak on nothing but not being African? It's by design. But again, it's like trying to tell you this pen is not blue. You have no say in anything. What do we gain from African? Why am I who? Is that here or Haiti? Appreciate it. Division does what it does. And they can't understand that. That's why I'm about to get off. Because the only thing they can do is get up and talk about dividing. It's like these fools saying, well, what does marriage do for you? They can't even understand how they are destroying the culture. They are destroying American culture. You don't respect your women. You don't respect your children. So what does being American do for you? I could do a whole lecture on being African. But you're not gonna do it. You ain't gonna do nothing but come in and be an agitator. You're gonna be like a white person that when I'm skinning them, they come in and say all this stuff. Right? Jeanette, but division is gonna do what it's gonna do. You're divided with me. And like I said, if I see any of y'all and y'all are FBA and y'all are being attacked, I'm gonna help. I'm gonna help you. I'm not gonna ask you what's your nationality. That make me sound like an ICE agent. I'm not gonna ask you to see your papers. But you have been Americanized. So until you get up off that Americanized thinking, there's nothing I can say to you. And I will not have a conversation with you. Now, there have been some that have gotten into my lives and we've been able to have productive conversations. But I read your energy through your comments so I can see if you have low teachability. If you have low teachability or even don't even want to listen, why would I have a conversation? Appreciate it. Y'all have nothing, you know what I'm saying? So I'm really about to get up out of here. Pearls to swine. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. I just learned, you know, if you would have caught me 2 years ago, I would have gave you a whole debate. But again, talking to somebody whose mind is made up, it's like me sitting here. If y'all hit a live and I'm sitting here having a debate with a pen, y'all are going to think I'm out of my mind. Right? So they don't have nothing to say. While Tariq Nasheed has conditioned, there's that word again, your mind, he over in Africa. He over in Africa while he got y'all hating it. Because guess what y'all think? Y'all think that everything you need is just here. In America, well, they had allies. I don't know how many they got now with this goddamn presidency. You're going to need more than just here. You don't even control it. Total surveillance. They probably surveying this live. You don't have enough to go to war in the devil's house. We don't hate Africa. Africa doesn't hate you. We don't hate you. I don't hate you. I only hate those that hate themselves. Now, you know what? What's your name? John? That's all it is. Because here's the funny thing, and I keep saying I'm about to get up out of here. Here's the funny thing, that I'll listen to people on all these spectrums, right? And they'll tell me how that they have zero African in them, right? But then I listened to this one brother that told me he had zero African in him, right? But then out the other side of his neck, he started bragging about how his grandmother looked like, resembled Marilyn Monroe, and how they have white in them. So you can accept the fact having the degenerate European blood in you, and you can accept the fact of that, but you have total disdain for Africa. So you know what I always tell y'all before I get out of here. I always tell y'all this is also foundational Black American history right here. This is also found FBA history. But see, you only want to look at it from a positive thing. You only want to look at Jackie Robinson, James Brown, because you in Delulu. Right? So there's not much to say about people that are hell bent on denying parts of themselves. F is you talking about. F is you coming in the room like that. See? And I guarantee you this is an adult. I no longer have the mind to talk to children that come in the room. You don't even know how to come in the room like a civilized adult. F is you talking about. Because that's ego coming in the room. Y'all ain't ready. You ain't even dealt with yourself. And you up here trying to talk about identity and where you from. You haven't even dealt with parts of yourself within. That's why I don't have these conversations. Okay, be American. You have no connection. Let me see what you're saying. The book title backwards, 100 Years of Lynchings. 100 Years of Lynchings. And you don't have the luxury to fight me. You got hundreds of years of fighting to catch up of what this white boy done to you on this land. But it's just like everything else. You don't want to fight who you really need to fight. So your Willie Lynch chip teach you only to fight that what look like you. So if somebody come in and tell me they have no connection to Africa, I'm not gonna tell them again. This pen. I'm not gonna tell them that they do. That's like somebody standing up here clapping their hands saying, you know I don't have no hands, right? Okay. Only thing I feel bad for is that y'all teach that to these children. And like when I asked y'all, what's the last book that you have read? See, just sitting here getting a YouTube education, yeah, you can look at YouTube videos. But most of y'all just look at videos. So you look at people that's Europeanized or Westernized in their thinking, and how do you know if somebody's Westernized in their thinking? Because like I said, if you have people that agree with Corey Holcomb, what I was just playing, you already know that they're not in their right mind. So, I don't know. But I'm about to get up out of here. Again, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate everybody that joined my live and sat in and talked with me. That's the last book you read. Let me read that. Let me look that up. Always, man. Appreciate you, Survive. Appreciate you. Whether we agree or not, I just like for y'all to come in and get understanding in my room. Shit, people teach me stuff in this room. And that's what I just want to help brothers and sisters move away from such arrogance. Because it's not going to help. These folks got some shit planned. They got these concentration camps for a reason. Who do you think they're concentrating on? Stop this. We FBA. We ADOS. They don't give a fuck. When they knock on that door, they not gonna ask. They gonna want to know, are you American? They gonna already want to know my political views. So ones like me, it's up for me just because of my political views. Because I say fuck Donald Trump. And they don't care if I'm FBA. If you FBA and you say F Donald Trump, they don't care about that. These people got some real shit in store. So wake up and stop this whole pretend mindset. Protect your children. Love on your babies. If you got a wife, love on your wife. If you got a husband, love on them. Bring back black love. See? You literally know it's up because you're not from here. Where am I from? They don't get it. They don't get it. The brainwashing is mighty. Yeah, I'm up out of here because it's like the old folks used to say, boy, the more I teach you, the dumber I get. And the more I teach, the dumber they get. But we in bad shape. But to the people that came in and had a productive conversation, peace. Thank you. Thank you. FBA is still his turn. Blessings. Thank you.